And welcome to We Got a Podcast, a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z. From Earth to Namek to Sadala, we cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Android 15 Doug.
Man, you're just going to try throwing me off from here on, aren't you?
If that's how easy it is to do, then yeah.
We're the Dream Team, the Dastardly Duo, here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos and not be thrown off by the weird intros from Doug. Doug, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's new? What you been up to the past couple of weeks?
Well, my ankle is feeling a lot better. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I had twisted it just on my way home, just trying to cut this through grass, and a little divot was there and really messed up my ankle pretty dang bad. But luckily, it's all good now. I feel brand new. Didn't have to see a doctor or anything. Didn't waste my money.
Not in this American medical system.
Not this American. Yeah. Oh, $100 to put some ice on it. Thanks. That's just what I needed to hear.
Yeah, because we had planned to record, and then you had texted me like, I can't do it. I'm in pain. I broke my my legs all broke.
No. You're like, oh no. I'm like, no, don't worry. Not emotional, just physical. I was like, oh, okay. Thank God.
Yeah, well, at least we can fix that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad
How
to
about
hear
you,
that.
though, man?
How you doing? I'm doing good. I found out I have mega sleep apnea, which is not a doctor thing, but it's... I've decided that that's what I have now. Because
when you told me, I thought that was an actual term, like, yeah, mega apnea. I'm like, oh, well, I've definitely got that mega apnea as well.
Yeah, no, I just had a sleep study done here at home, and then they're like, yeah, you want to be, between like 0 and like, God, what was it, like 9
on the
or
scale
whatever.
from like 0 to like 30 or whatever, and you're like 35.
Yeah, it's like 32.5, so I'm like, oh, that's mega severe. I'm just going to say that I have mega sleep apnea.
But yeah, at least you're on the right track to getting that fixed, so I need to get jumped on that too, because I'm not getting any good sleep.
Yeah, I love sleep, but like I always wake up and I'm still super tired, and like I take naps on the weekend all the time. So I'm like, oh,
I thought that's just how life is.
Right?
you're just tired, but apparently no. People get good night rest sometimes, and
yeah,
they feel good.
I thought it was just I'm in my 30s. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's just what happens.
That was me at like 13 years old. I'm like, yeah, I'm just tired. This sucks being old.
Well, I didn't start like snoring hardcore until like 10 years ago when I got fat. So I was just
that happens. I've been snoring my whole life.
Yeah, well, it's relatively new, I guess. Yeah, relatively would be the right word.
Every time I had to spend the night at someone's house, or like we had to like share a room with a friend or whatever, and like I'm like, I warn them, like I snore pretty badly from what I hear. They're always, nah, it's all right. No, it's fine. I have a friend or an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend who used to snore too. I'm like, all right. Cut to the next morning, they're like, that was the worst snoring I've ever heard in my entire life, Doug. I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, I told you.
Yeah, it's rough. Especially, if you had to sleep with me, it'd be bad times. So I'll get a face hugger mask thing, and I'll be good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's mostly been what's up with me. I mean, I'm still playing Persona 4, still watching OG Dragon Ball. I'm in the tail end here of the Uranai Baba stuff, so.
Nice, all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Grandpa Gohan is there, and it's about to get real emotional next episode, and I'll probably cry in the morning over my coffee.
Some beautiful tears.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and then we're watching the finale of Loki after this, just the date of the episode. We're going to get to see what's going to happen. I'm kind of excited.
Oh, I'm low-key excited.
So let's finish this freaking episode so we can get there.
That's true. All right, cool. We'll get to it. So this episode, we've been doing the movies. Obviously, next one in the order is Dragon Ball Z movie number 7. I believe the English title is just Super Android 13.
That's right.
Okay. The Japanese title, which these are always great. This one actually is, it kind of
makes
describes
somewhat sense.
Yeah, it is Extreme Battle! ! The 3 Great Super Saiyans. So.
That's right, because during this time, it's like a new thing where there's 3 whole Super Saiyans and make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
It's just, in retrospect, for us, knowing what happens in the whole story, we're like, that's a big deal, I guess.
Right, 3? I mean, that's it? That's all you guys got?
Yeah, Gohan's right there. We know Gohan will eventually be able to do it. Yeah, like, speaking of, when did this movie air? Like, around what episode?
Yeah, so this movie came out it came out July 11th, 1992, which is after episode 147. Vegeta and Trunks are currently in the Room of Spirit and Time, and Piccolo is going to fight 17. So Gohan has not yet transformed. So it's still just the 3.
So I guess there was a reason that they didn't have him included in that. But I mean, I guess they could have waited a few more months.
Oh, they can't wait.
They would have had.
They can't wait.
But where was the manga?
That is also a good question that I don't have an answer off the bat from. So,
But I guess regardless, they wouldn't want to spoil the anime with showing him as Super Saiyan firstly in the movie. You know what I mean?
yeah, I suppose they probably want to save that for seeing it on the television. Get all those sweet ad dollars from you watching
It
commercials.
probably wasn't even in their mind though, as they're animating this. They don't know that it's anywhere near Gohan becoming a Super Saiyan.
Right. I mean, obviously the manga is further ahead and his transformation isn't that far off at this point. So, like, it could have been by that time.
But still, we don't know how long it takes to animate all this and storyboard it, let alone all that kind of stuff. So,
right. I
I
mean,
didn't even think Gohan had the potential.
the previous movie came out in March. This one came out in July. So it can't be too long. I mean, obviously they probably have different animators and different teams working on it. I mean,
Working
this
at
is
the same time.
This is a different director. Last couple have been Daisuke Nishio, and this time we have Kazuhito Kikuchi. He was an episode director for Z and GT. He's also done a ton of storyboards for different things, but this is the only movie he did.
I was going to say, that's a familiar name, but is that just he has the same last or first name as Kikuchi?
Correct. Yeah, it's just the same.
Gotcha.
Same last name. I don't believe there's any relation, but
No.
I wrote up this outline 2 seconds before we recorded, so I don't have all of the information.
Let's just say they're twins then. If you don't know, then let's just
okay,
say it right
yes. I don't want to do that. That's wrong. Somebody's going to miss that on their drive to work, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, and later we'll make a joke
here.
about
I heard,
wow.
they're going to think back. Like, 3 years ago, I heard this podcast of these two guys saying that they're twins.
Yeah, I don't want to be the originator. I don't want to be patient zero for that
It's
misinformation.
too late now, man. They're twins, and Dragon Ball AF is real.
Good Lord. All right. So, hey, man, this movie, we've got androids, obviously, because they're the new hot thing. Robots are cool. Terminator is...
Yeah. I mean, like, even the intro was cool to see a redrawn scene of 17 killing Jiro.
It's very, like, brutal. Like, it's 17
brutal.
doesn't have any words. It's just murder.
It's just like a dark scene, too. Like, no other characters are there, like in the original anime and manga version. Like, it's just them two, it seems like. Oh, no, 18's there, too.
Yeah,
but,
just drinking in the carnage.
It's very bleak and awesome, and because it's a movie, it's drawn super well, shaded well.
It's drawn super well. We got some blood, or I guess coolant. I don't know, whatever you want to be at the time.
That's true. Hey, by the way, this movie entirely is amazing. Like we ripped on movie 6, how horrible that looked. This one's beautiful. Like it doesn't have the same charm. I still think movie 5 with the first Cooler movie is like top tier. But this is good too.
Yeah, I was really impressed. Like I was worried that it was going to be the similar thing with movie 6 where I remember it looking good, but I only remember the good shots.
Me too, yeah.
But no, I think it delivered on that. And
there are some good shots in here too.
Oh, so many. After our, brief thing of setting up like, oh, hey, who Dr. Gero is, and we've got 17 and 18.
But can I say that showing them in the 17 and Jiro scene again in the beginning had my teenage mind when I first saw it as a teenager, like 20 some years ago, so confused. I'm like, okay, so then how does this fit in our Dragon Ball Z timeline? Because this is the first movie I think I've ever seen, besides like Tree of Might, the first 3, but like this is the first movie I ever like physically bought on DVD. And I was just like, okay, how does this fit in the timeline? Back when I thought that was, common practice, but it's not. It just doesn't matter where this belongs, I
could have swore in our previous episode you said that was the first time, like the previous movie was the first one you bought. So what's the truth, man?
100%. You misheard me then, because this is definitely... we were talking about how excited I was to watch this movie, because this is the first movie I've ever bought.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
I remember it clear as day, me walking down Toys R Us with my mom, like, Mom, that's Broly on the cover. It's actually Android 13, but I thought he has Super Saiyan hair, so I'm like, that's gotta be Broly. There's no internet back then, not good enough to... prove me wrong. So I'm like, that's got to be him in some early form. Mom, I need this legendary Super Saiyan. It says Android 13, but I'm convinced.
Broly
like,
fights.
All right, calm down. Jesus, Doug. Yeah.
Broly fights.
I'll buy it for you.
13, maybe. I don't know. You just got to try and,
I don't see him in the boxing wear, but it's got to be like the predecessor. I don't know anything about this movie. All I know is little clips that I've downloaded from torrenting sites.
Man.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was hard to get straight information and also just look stuff up.
An adventure though. It was like, whoa, this is like new. This is cool. Like, yeah. It was great.
My dad was a nerd, so we had, dial-up internet. So I was, getting clips of stuff, and I was just looking up all sorts of things. Like, I already knew, and like, oh, I know the androids are going to show up, and they're from the Red Ribbon arc. Or like, oh, what's that? I don't know. I never watched Dragon Ball because it was 2000, and that wasn't an available thing to me.
Yeah. Like, I thought because of this, and like, I thought in OG Dragon Ball early on, I thought there was more. They played more a role.
Right.
During the Red Ribbon arc, but nah, not at all.
Yeah, zero.
No. Hot Sean, and that's it.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to bring up is after that intro and stuff, it's clear that Gero is here, 17 and 18 are here. But then the movie goes on without ever mentioning what happened to 17 and 18.
That's what I was talking about when I'm saying, like, I have no idea where this fits in the timeline, because after that, everyone's just all happy-go-lucky, and they're, like, shopping in the mall. I'm like, okay, are the androids gone? But then that means Cell isn't there? Like, that's how it just doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
The main timeline.
Trunks has come back from the future, so we know that, like, he's at least...
It's after 19 and 20.
Yeah, so don't... And then, because Vegeta is also a Super Saiyan, so...
Yeah.
It's after he comes back, so it's like, what are you doing? Like, did you guys win? And now you're just, like, chilling? And also, like... Krillin is still looking for a wife. It's like, but...
Yeah, so I mean... You could always put this during the 10-day break period, but I don't know.
Yeah, if it's 10 days, then Gohan would be older than he is here.
And a Super Saiyan.
Right. So I guess it's just before Cell shows up. Like, it's weird and convoluted. It's just...
Maybe in this timeline, there's no Cell. And they've already taken care of... Or the androids are just somewhere else right now. Wrecking havoc or chilling,
They're friends now. They're like, oh, we talked him out of it. And they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah. The TVA hasn't intervened in this timeline yet.
Man, I love your references. It's so good. So timely. Timely.
Yeah, so we get the androids, like, walking through the city, like, just going through buildings. They don't care. They're just going directly towards Goku once they've awoken. And... Goku and the gang are like shopping. Well, Goku, Chi-Chi, and Gohan are out shopping.
Meanwhile, Roshi, my brain was just like Roshi, Pork Chop, and Trunks. Like, he has a name and it's Oolong.
That's his new nickname, Pork Chop.
Roshi Oolong.
That's still kind of a pun, I guess.
Oh my god. Roshi, Oolong, Krillin, and Trunks are lined up for a beauty pageant.
Yeah, Miss Beautiful Under the Heavens. I don't know. Tenkaichi Beautiful Women.
There's just a long name so they can sit right up front and see all the peachy gals. But of course, Krillin wants to go in early because, hey, maybe we could catch them changing, and we could. I'm like,
he's straight up like a peeping Tom. Like, let's go in there and catch them while they're undressing. I'm like, whoa, Krillin. I mean, I guess this makes sense.
Yeah,
with this character, but I guess we should establish that last time I saw this movie was dubbed. This is back when I was like a dub only fan, so that's the last time I saw it. And in the dub, he's like, "Oh, I'm not here for those dirty reasons. I'm here to find a potential girlfriend or bride or whatever, So then to contrast, hearing Krillin say, "No, let's just check out some naked ladies without their consent."
Right.
Was very off-putting.
I mean, problematic is a way that we could put it, but like,
yeah,
at least it is kind of in character when you think back to Dragon Ball, where he was, a pervert supplying Roshi with porn so that way he could get trained by him, and all of those
not justifying
things.
His actions, but totally understanding with his character.
It's in character, it's just not right.
A lot of that is throughout this entire fucking series. Sometimes it's just, including like Goku, like watching Chi-Chi going through clothes, like, oh man, women do love shopping.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, man, Goku.
And there's no quip to it. It's just that. That's the joke. It's like, women love shopping.
But Tish, sexism. Ay. So that's what that is. So then you're right.
But then we learned, we theorized that canonically, this is where Chi-Chi bought Goku's suit in the next movie for the school interview.
Right. That's a good one. I like that this is laying the groundwork for the Broly movie. See, that's what it was. This is the prequel to it. You were right.
Continuity, man. It's beautiful.
You should have known. You should get an award for that. Young Doug knew exactly where this was going.
I watched the movie too much, man. This is, like I said, this is the first and only DVD that started my entire collection.
Wow.
This is the first Dragon Ball thing I ever bought ever. So, that my mom bought upon my request, but yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're all children. We all didn't have our own money. That's fine.
I remember it was that and like a model kit of Goku, but I didn't understand what model kits were. I was a very stupid kid. I'm still a stupid adult. But as a kid, like, I'm like, a model kit? What is that? So I opened the box expecting a full figure. I'm like, no, it's like little pieces of things I got to assemble myself. I'm like, what is this bullshit? So I'm trying to assemble it while watching this movie, and it's just not going well. I think I finally did it. And I'm like, oh, I finally finished it, and it looks like ass. I don't want this thing.
To be fair, they sell model kits and stuff here in the U.S., and I don't even think they change any of the packaging. It's still just all in Japanese, so you'd be like,
all in Japanese.
I think it's just a figure, so yeah. But
it might have been that way too. Yeah, if I remember, I don't know. I kind of wish I kept it now, but at the time, I was like, yeah, this doesn't look good.
You should, plumb your memory, figure out what it was, and then go try and track down that model kit, and then build it and put it with your...
I probably could if I looked hard enough. I could find what it was.
Add it to your collection. Be like, here's where it all started.
I think because it might have been one that came with a Super Saiyan head plate, so you could swap. Not even take the hair off and put a new hair on it. It'd be another like huge Goku Super Saiyan head that you put on top of his regular head, and so it looked all funky.
I always wanted those. I always coveted those. I'd look on eBay and stuff when I was like 13.
I think at the time, that was like the highest quality we could get, but at the time I still was like, this looks horrible.
Yeah.
I had high standards as a fucking kid, so yeah.
That continues. I mean, consistency, you're still in character. So after shopping, they decide to all get some food, and then 14 and 15 show up, and they're like, nope, Goku's here. We gotta kill that a-hole, and then they fight in the city.
I wonder if anyone out there, if you quickly ask them like to answer within 10 seconds or 5 seconds, like, okay, which one's 14, which one's 15? They couldn't. They don't ever name them by numbers in this movie, do they?
I believe they just are collectively called 14 and 15. We're not given
right, exactly. So it's like
who's who.
I'm thinking in the guidebooks, I'm pretty sure it's like the tiny one is 14 and the bigger one is 15.
We'll get to it because that's actually a trivia question.
Nice. Well, I got it right.
Well, we'll have to see.
Just cut that part out and put it at the end where the trivia question is. Just me answering it, and it's perfect.
Blip bloop editing.
Don't do that.
I'm not gonna, because that would be
it's too much work for you.
Exactly. You know what's up. Mm-hmm. So they're fighting in the city, causing, I think, more destruction than needed. Like, I think
oh my god,
brought
so
up
much
like,
so that you're like, yeah.
Trunks, you stop dodging these blasts and let them hit buildings, smack them away into the sky. Come on.
Goku, I kind of understand, because he's never about saving, and I mean, he does.
In this movie, he's all about, like, you hurt people, and that's not right. I won't forgive you. Like, that's, okay, I guess but that's
Trunks
Goku.
Is, like, purposefully, like, the Superman type. Like, his character is, like, my future is
I have to
bleak.
save people.
Yeah, like, that's awesome that's what's awesome. That's what I love about him, is that he's that way.
Mm-hmm.
It contrasts Goku in a great way. Like, he is the, like, no, I gotta protect the world kind of thing. But no, he's still just like, he's communicating with the androids to stop doing this in the city as he's dodging blast that hits a building right behind him and causes devastation.
Yeah, man, the guy's just being irresponsible, is what I would say.
Yeah, but that's just fun scenery damage, so.
Right. Well, at least I think he is the one that's like, why don't we go up north where there's no people?
Yeah. I prefer the city, though, than the typical ice we always get, but whatever.
I guess that's fair. I mean, it's more interesting, I guess, because it doesn't happen too often. Like, it's like this and like Battle of Gods.
North.
Yeah. So then we had Super North, where it's, a fucking ice desert and snow and all this. It's basically back where movie 2 is going on, where it's just, that's just, it is what it is. It's just white and blue.
Empty, desolate area with snow.
But now a challenger has appeared because a new android, a new artificial human has awoken and is heading to the battlefield. And the fight's barely started before he shows up, and he's got a hat on, and it's 13.
So this is interesting because I watched it dubbed from my memory, but you didn't. So to me, the redneckiness of this character is just kind of ingrained in my memory of this character. Like, it makes sense. But to you, to hear like a redneck comment was kind of like, why? Like, because he has a trucker hat kind of thing, right?
Right. I think the biggest confusion to me ever happened was because I had originally seen this movie in Japanese before I had seen the dub. So I was not in the know of that, and I think I was probably playing like, Budokai Tenkaichi 2 or 3 with my cousin. And if we played at my house, it was in Japanese, but if we played at his house, he had it set to English.
Right.
And one of us must have chose 13. I'm like, what the fuck is this
What is
choice
this
that's
voice?
happening?
Yeah, because in the Japanese version, he's a boring, straight villain.
Yeah.
Which is what I have to say off the bat is that the dub, interestingly enough, I enjoyed this dub. This is a good dub of this movie.
I think
Script wise, it's a little iffy, but I mean, not script wise. Script wise is what I actually like about it. Like the choices they made.
we went back and we watched a couple of scenes to for you to relive memories and for me to have some more exposure to this. And yeah, I'm gonna say that
You hate to say it, don't you?
it's so hard
You can say
to
it's okay. It's okay.
Oh god.
Gotta give credit where credit is due, man.
It's me swallowing, gulping. It's more entertaining. It's kind of
It is
more
more
fun.
entertaining, isn't it? It's interesting if it flows a little more naturally.
Yeah, I mean, people.
The
I
voice
feel like
actors are still not great, so like their deliveries are not amazing.
they're having fun.
They're having fun, exactly. And the character it makes Android 13 a little more of an interesting character as opposed to a blank slate. He actually has his like characteristic of a rednecky and the way he speaks. He's not talking about like segregation and war and how humans suck because of all that.
Yeah, that was a wild speech. I'm happy
Yeah.
that that's in there because it's like that's true, but also like where did this come from?
I don't know who the voice actor is for that, but the delivery for that was pretty fucking awesome. He's like, "Don't talk to me about free will, boy, with your $30 haircut." Goku dies. It's so memorable to me.
I don't remember the name of the actor, but anytime I hear his voice, all I can think of is the first role that I heard him in, which I believe was like the dad detective from Case Closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, all right,
Nice.
it's that guy. I don't remember his name, but yeah. So now the fights still hasn't started in earnest because, of course, we all have to fight in our base forms. Goku
Right.
gets cornered, and Vegeta is hiding in the ice or something to like
Yeah.
dramatic.
That's where he meditates. He meditates under the ice. You know, that's
That's
he
a
enjoyed
Piccolo
it so
move.
much in the Room of Spirit and Time. He's like, yeah, this is awesome.
But I feel like he delivers the exact same lines as he did in movie 6 of like, I didn't do this to save you. You're
Yeah.
mine to defeat. And I'm like, okay.
Watching
man.
the movies back to back, that gets so tiresome. Just like, yeah, we get it.
You had brought up that you feel like it's these movies because they're so bite-sized and easy to like just pop in and watch.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of fans like they grasp what a character is just by watching these movies again, and that like shapes what they think this character is. So Vegeta's the guy that just says, "I'm the Prince of all Saiyans" all the times, and every time he gets, and then Krillin just the weakling that's comedy purposes. But I don't know. What do you think?
I would agree. I mean, I don't know how often people watch these movies because I feel like the casual fan might have just watched whatever is on television, and the movies, I know they show on Toonami once in a while, but I don't think it was
Yeah.
that
I mean,
often.
I'm guilty of it too, because like I remember the video games influencing a lot of my knowledge of the show too, because I played Budokai 1 all the time, and they did pretty much a condensed story version to the point where sometimes I'm like, didn't this line be delivered this way? Like they said this. Oh no, that was in the Budokai game. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah.
I actually like in Budokai 1 when Gohan kills Cell. At Cell's dying words are like, "No, this can't be. I'm perfect." I thought that was a good line to deliver, but in the OG,
yeah.
I don't think he says anything really. He's just like, "No."
Yeah.
But it'd be like such good irony to be like him dying and while saying, "No, but I'm perfect," you know?
right. Just in total denial because, that's what he is. He's perfect. He can't lose.
Exactly. Like even to the death, he's in denial. It's like, "No, this can't be."
So after finally like deciding, well, hey, maybe we should change things up. Vegeta, I think, gets frustrated first, and he's like, "Oh, now it's my turn, you piece of crap," and transforms.
But yeah, it makes more sense because he's only battling for like a minute as opposed to Goku and Trunks who've been battling for like half an hour.
Hell yeah. Trunks also transforms, and then Goku gets his in, and Krillin is just, finally, the three great Super Saiyans are here. Like, the prophecy is
you
true.
said like it's like a prophecy. Like he says it like it's a prophecy. Like, oh my god, I've heard about it in legends.
Yeah, there'll be 3, and they will save us from Robo Trucker and problematic stereotypes.
But it's like, yeah, it's a product of its time where Super Saiyans are new, and to see all
Yeah.
three is really cool to see.
Right. There's more than one, which is, we were told there's only going to be one. So now we've got 3. Isn't that wild?
It'd be weird if you said it like in Battle of the Gods, like, oh my god, there's 3 Super Saiyans. Like, why make a big deal out of this?
Right.
But it makes sense why there's a big deal and why the movie title is that.
Right.
Because it's all fresh.
It makes sense. It's finally, I don't think at any point in that, artificial human art did we ever get to see all 3 of them together doing something.
Actually, that's true, right? I was thinking of them fighting 17 and 18, but no, Goku's not there.
Yeah, Goku's not there when fighting 19 and 20. Goku and Vegeta are there, but Trunks didn't arrive yet.
Because Goku doesn't fight until Cell, right? Well,
Goku fights 19, but then he loses because of the heart virus, and then Vegeta has to take over. But yeah. Yeah, so they're not all 3 there together, so this is kind of our first, hey, look.
Now that we, lay it out that way, that does make this a special moment.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And then I can see why they would use that to sell, wanting you to go to see this.
Why isn't that obvious to us, though? Like, that, we had to lay it out. Or, I don't know if it's obvious to you, but for me, I was like, yeah, why did I have to lay it out?
I mean...
Because then now I appreciate that title more now, because that is...
We're coming back to this so deep into the franchise.
We're so saturated... It's been 20 years. We're so saturated with seeing the Super Saiyans everywhere that maybe it doesn't make it that special to us. But
if
at least I understood in retrospect that it does.
Yeah, if we were in Japan 1992, we'd be like, oh, hell yeah, all 3 of them in one movie? Oh, shit, I gotta see that.
Yeah. I think I was saturated even then because when it came out in America, because I've seen them in AMVs. Every single AMV had those scenes in it, so...
Hell yeah. So it's cool to see them all fight. I mean, Vegeta and Trunks kind of finished their fights relatively quickly.
In cool fashion, too.
Very cool. I mean, specifically Trunks's of just, doing the slice landing, powering down... And then him just running back at him for splitting in half and exploding.
Yeah.
And then
the whole samurai thing where just puts away his sword. Yeah, it's so great.
I forgot about, besides the splitting in half and exploding, that he still just sits there and the shot sits there until the torso falls in front of the camera. I'm like, oh damn, that's still so much cooler than I remember.
Yeah, there's so many good shots in this like that, composition wise. It's hard to remember, but I remember catching myself a lot while watching it. Wow, that's a really interesting shot. That's not a boring, one-on-one character shot. It's it's done so well. This director, whoever storyboarded it, had a vision, man, and it's great.
Well, like I said, the director here did a lot of storyboard work before this, so he's kind of very good at this visual storytelling, which makes sense why you'd have this person be a director. I mean, that's what they eventually did with what's his face? Shit, guy.
Luffy.
No.
Speed Racer. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tadayoshi Yamamuro. There it is.
That's my next guess.
Where then, he was doing character designs and all of the other fun stuff for the TV show. And then, of course, Resurrection F. They're like, yeah, you're going to direct a movie. You've never done this before, but here you go.
Right.
So, I mean, kind of makes sense as a step up to things.
Right.
So now that those two are that 14 and 15 are done, well, 13's got a new trick up his sleeve, and that is to...
Wait, before we leave 14 and 15, can I ask the audience if they remember the Scary Movie scene?
Oh, God, fine.
The parody scene, the Scary Movie 2, the movies in America are called Scary Movie. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where Ray is being attacked by a clown under his bed, and as it does a little switcheroo where then Ray ends up wanting to fuck the clown, for lack of a better word. And the clown's like, wait, no, I don't want this. The clown reaches out of the bed, tries to escape, and then Ray pulls him back with, God, can I even say this? With his dick. It's a long elastic dick comes out of the bed, wraps around the clown's neck, and then yanks him back inside the bed. I bring that up because every time I see 15's hair, his little ponytail, it wraps around 14's neck in a scene, and 14 has to grab it and throw it off of him. When I see that, I think of that scene every time. I think of a dick every time. I'm sorry, I just think of that scene. Does anyone else remember that scene? Because Randy didn't, so I was explaining dick for a while, and he didn't understand. He was just enjoying it, but I don't know.
Do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel happy that you
feel good about myself? That is my memory is shit, but when it comes to stuff like that,
I'm gonna remember that elastic dick though.
It's clear as day, baby.
Oh, like when you showed me the scene again, I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I do kind of remember that. Yeah, okay. My brain was like, no, you don't.
You've only seen it on TV, so you've only seen the edited version of that scary movie. So it's they wouldn't show that, obviously.
I think I rented it once so that I could see it unedited. So
that scene didn't stick with your mind forever. That didn't like scar you.
Guess not. I mean, if I'm gonna die, that's how I want to die.
That's how you want to die. I never looked under my bed ever again after that.
I always do. I'm like, choke me.
I always do.
Choke me, Ray.
Please. As Gohan would say in the dub, Daddy, please.
Oh, man. So 13. He's getting an upgrade. New GPU. Yeah. He's got a new AIO cooler.
More RAM.
More RAM. Oh, baby. He's got 10 gig Ethernet. He's here to rock your fucking world, and he turns blue.
He turns blue and gets Saiyan hair.
It's got that RGB going on. I mean, he's got no green, but he's got the blue. He's got the red. So, yeah.
What you were saying, and I agree with, it just doesn't feel like an upgrade. It just feels like a new character completely.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a natural evolution to 13, I feel. But then you had brought up, like, well, the small guy, he was purple, and then the big guy was big, so now he's big and blue. I'm like...
So it's kind of a fusion of the three, if you want to.
Yeah, so I guess I see it. I don't understand why the hair has to spike up. I guess I do. Super Saiyan. We have to have something similar to that.
Hey,
hair standing
it got me to buy the freaking movie just from looking at the cover. Like, that's got to be Broly. Let's do it.
Why are we designing this character this way? So that small, confused children will think he's somebody else.
That we haven't invented yet.
No, but it'll happen, and they'll be hyped. So he gets very brutal, beating people up. Goku doesn't have a shirt anymore.
That's how you know shit's about to go down.
Yep. Trunks and Vegeta are trying their best. I mean, Trunks has some sick lines.
Yeah, it's beautiful, actually. Like, I would say it's beautiful. You're talking about them like
I'm from the future 20 years from now, and 20 years from now you don't exist because Son Goku defeats you today.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, you don't exist, so that must mean that Goku defeats you today. So
and then he gets the sword broken and his face blasted out. So
yeah, which is awesome. It's like how visceral it all is.
Oh yeah, I mean, he breaks Vegeta's back and all this stuff, and
Bruce Wayne Bane style.
Yeah. While the whole time Goku is gathering Genki for his Genki Dama to defeat the big bad. And now it's finally huge and he's ready to go for it, but for whatever reason, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan before throwing it, and now Krillin, who apparently knows all things in the cosmos, is like, Goku, you can't do that, because your heart needs to be calm, and now as a Super Saiyan, it's full of rage.
I was like thinking like, oh, maybe he learned that from King Kai. No, wait, he was the one that didn't ever meet King Kai.
Yep.
It was Tenshinhan Yamcha and Piccolo Chaozu, but... Oh yeah, Piccolo was in this too. We didn't mention him.
Piccolo came to save Gohan's butt once, and inconsequential.
He lends a hand.
Yeah,
he does as much effort as Vegeta and Trunks in this. Really,
Krillin
it's nice to see him though.
Yeah, Krillin in this movie twice has to remind Gohan that he is a wiener and can't do shit, and he is in the same league as Krillin.
Yeah,
which is funny to me.
Like, I think I mentioned it last movie is that Vegeta replaces Piccolo, and it's super apparent in this movie how that is. Like, Piccolo he doesn't even need to be here.
He's playing second fiddle for sure.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I love him, and I like seeing him here, but yeah, he's playing second fiddle.
As the Genki Dama is dissipating, Goku instead decides to absorb all of that energy, and he becomes just quite literally a big old ball of rage. He's just golden that energy face. Ball. Oh, just like that terrifying face of...
You see like the gums in his teeth, I think.
Yeah. And it's, he obliterates a fucking glacier in rage.
Yeah.
Before 13.
Leaving just enough for him to stand on, for 13 to stand on.
Exactly. It's very dramatic. I mean, very cinematic, which makes sense. 13 jumps into the fray, but of course, when he tries to punch Goku, his arms start to dissolve just from the pure energy output before...
Which looks really cool.
Oh, yeah. It's a sick effect before then Goku just gives him one punch to the stomach and throws him up into the air before 13 just explodes, and that's the end of that.
The Toei punch.
The Toei punch. Watch out. It'll be back.
It's so what's the word I'm looking for? Unimaginative, but...
Yeah.
Unsatisfying.
Unsatisfying, unimaginative, anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got all that ki. He should have exploded into some huge blast. Like, I don't know, give me a Kamehameha that fills the fucking screen.
Yeah, I don't know, something. I mean, I'm not a writer, so I don't know, but I'm just saying it doesn't...
We could have done better.
Yeah, I could have done better.
So now everybody's recovering in the hospital except for Piccolo and Vegeta, who have the ability to fly, decided that they are just going to ride on an iceberg.
Well, they're probably just like chilling, just like licking their wounds, you know?
I guess, but
Oh,
like...
but they're, why are they on an icicle together? Like, they wouldn't do that by choice. They
Right.
want to be, like, separated due to pride.
Right. It's such a strange ending to a film.
Hey,
but-
it was worth it for the dub line with the fish.
Is it over yet? Not until the fish jumps.
When I saw that as a kid, I was like, that's... What? Hilarious.
It's funny to me, who's seen it a fuck ton of times in Japanese, and then to get to that, like, haha, it's like they've seen this a bunch, so they're like, it's kind of funny that it ends when the fish jumps, so we should make a joke about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because they don't say anything, right, in the Japanese version?
No, it's just silence.
Does Gohan even ask about them, like, at the end
Yeah.
of the dub?
Krillin is like, I wonder what happened to Vegeta and Piccolo, and then it's just them,
okay.
like, on the iceberg, so it's just, all right.
It would be funny if, like, we just learned that they couldn't fly at that moment because they're so tired they just couldn't
Yeah.
fly.
Could be
Vegeta's
that.
back is broken, so he can't fly, and Piccolo, whatever reason.
Yeah, I think doesn't Piccolo he does not use Bukujutsu like everybody else. He's got a specific type of flying that I feel
Is
like
it
is
really?
not key related. Yeah, I want to
That's
say
news
it's
to me.
something
Demon
weird.
flying.
Yeah.
Some sort of demon snail flying.
Right. So tell me, man, how do you feel about the movie in general?
I enjoyed it. If anything, just for the animation of it is fucking awesome. And the action is pretty cool, too.
Yeah, I would say the action's really great. Animation's good. It also has that same problem. I know that I believe it was John Rogers brought up for movie 6 that if you don't like action, the movie is kind of bland because 12 minutes in, the fight starts and it doesn't end, and that's just the film. This
That's the movie, yeah.
is the same. 12 minutes in, fighting starts. So it's...
Yeah, but at least with this one, it's 3 characters that they're fighting against as opposed to one cooler. Well, a billion coolers.
Right.
That are the same character, you know. This at least has, like I said last time, they should have had minions in the last one, and this one they did. So
Yeah. And we also have some chill time right up front of everybody just like, you know, shopping and stuff versus in the previous movie where it was, oh, we got to set up like the setting. Okay, we've got this star thing, it's eating this thing. We're all on a spaceship. We're going to Namek. Oh, no, the Nameks are enslaved. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we had a lot to
It was
do.
like pretty boring time, but then in this movie, it's fun times where they're just like shopping and doing regular stuff, fish out of water stuff that we don't see them do often.
Yeah. I don't think this movie is a deep, like, good film at all. I mean, these movies are just made to just be consumed and enjoyed.
I was going to say, I don't think any of them are really that amazing.
But I guess on the scale of them all, it is not upper tier of, you know, 90s, 80s DBZ movies.
Really? For me, it is.
I like it. I mean,
I might be really biased, though, just because of my memories with it.
and that's fair. I mean, I'm not going to fault you there, and I'm not going to argue with you. That's your opinion, and I like to hear that.
And dude, I'm so surprised that the dub, like you and I were saying, like it's actually passable. It's enjoyable. Like it's, you know me, you know us. We're Japanese fans now through and through, so we have to give credit where credit is due. And if you like this dub version better, hey, that's okay by me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, no, it's all okay by me if you like the dub anyway. I'm just saying, like, I understand this movie. Other movies I don't understand. I don't take off your nostalgia glasses, but this one,
right? Give it a try. We gave it a try. I mean, I gave it a try. It's fine. You're not gonna get hurt. It's fine.
That red ribbon redneck, dude. And yeah, this is my first instance of hearing curse words in Dragon Ball Z was this movie too. Is like I think 13 says the word ass a couple times, and I'm like, whoa. I'm 13 years old at the time myself or whatever, and
so edgy.
Like, oh my god, this is awesome, Dragon Ball Z.
They swear in cartoons, man. So adult.
This ain't your granddad's Dragon Ball.
Oh, geez. Well,
you think you know GT? You don't know GT.
You don't know? Oh, I knew that's where that was going to go. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to hear what you guys all had to say, and we'll do that and some more. All right?
Sounds good.
All right, we're back, and we've got your thoughts on this movie. Doug, are you ready to hear these?
I'm very curious, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to tell people up front. It's Loki watching time for me, and we're recording a little later, so we're going to zip through the end of the show. But
you have a time limit?
But
you
I
get
want
to see it at?
But I want, yeah. Well, I mean, like, I got to go to
I want
bed
to see
soon.
it too, but, oh, okay, you have a bedtime.
I do have a bedtime. I'm an old man. So we want to get through all of these because I love hearing what everybody else has to say. Michael at Metallics MT says, I really like the dub of this. It elevates a somewhat middling movie into something memorable. The androids also have cool designs.
Yeah.
I mean, it did elevate it from what I saw. Like, yeah, it made it entertaining, like more so than like the bland characters that are introduced. It's good.
It's good. And yeah, I don't read the tweets that people reply to because I want to like hear them during the podcast. But before you told me that some of them were mentioning the dub, and I'm very like pleased to hear that we came to the same conclusion.
I do read them as they come in, so like I am somewhat tainted.
At least one of us has to.
Right. I mean, I could just ignore it and be like, whatever, I'll read those when the time comes. But like, I just always interested and I want to read what people have to say.
Yeah.
Jake Pay 16 says, really like the location of the fights. Never seen snow in Dragon Ball up to this point, except for Muscle Tower and OG Dragon Ball. The fights were fun and the plot was entertaining. Also, Goku absorbing the Spirit Bomb is and always will be terrifying.
Yeah. I thought it was really sarcastic for a second about the location, but I don't know. Maybe not.
We also had DBZ Movie 2, which takes place in a very snowy region, but I guess most of the fights in that movie take place indoors in like the lab and stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Nate Ming says, it's always nice to giving the main players individual opponents and individual fights. In most Z movies afterwards, there's just one main bad guy, and even when there are henchmen, like in BoJack, the main character just takes them all out, like in BoJack. So,
yeah,
it's nice that they all get to have their own fights, and then they get to finish it. Trunks has his one-on-one, Vegeta has his one-on-one, and they each respectively win.
True.
Rather than like, we can't do it, we gotta wait for Goku, or whatever else is gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't think about
this.
That, but that is true. I have my own theories about movie 9, but we'll get there when we get there.
Hell yeah. Lam Ranma Yasha says, the dub dialogue elevates this movie from a forgettable chore to a fun time, adding so much more characterization to its blank slate villains. Android 13's southern trucker accent and dialogue is particularly gold. Quote, don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut, Goku dies.
Dude, I honestly don't read these tweets. That is like word for word what I was saying throughout this podcast. What? That's awesome.
Wesley Wonderland says, the fact that we have more androids is fun, but the best part has to be Super Saiyan Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku. That face, man.
Yeah, like I love that they like came up with their own creative way to use the Spirit Bomb. At least it's just the final punch that was boring, but the idea was awesome. To absorb it.
Ian at CypherDB says it has the dubious distinction of being the worst movie with Dragon Ball Z in the title. Oof, Ian coming in with the hot take.
Nice. Do it, man.
Yeah, I'll admit it's not great, but like I found stuff to like about it, and I'm bummed that you think it's the worst.
I'm still not sure if I'm just incredibly biased because it's like my first movie, but I don't know.
Yeah,
this is like peak Dragon Ball Z popularity too, because it's like the androids and Cell stuff, so everyone was on board. So this is like what everyone remembers, like character wise. Like this is the time period that Gohan looks like he's supposed to look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched this one a lot in like 8th, 9th, 10th grade. So like I also probably have a bit of a bias, but like going back and watching these, this one's definitely better than movie 6. So
and I had the edited version, so I didn't even see like a lot of the nut punches that like you freeze frame into the nut punch, like the blood that trickles down Trunks' head as he's doing that look slice. That's not in the dub. on the edited version, I think.
Yeah, I don't have it to cross check, but I believe you. I mean, that's usually something they were trying to keep out of there. So
I almost like framed my copy of that DVD, just like this is the first thing I ever bought.
You should. Ono Kroll says, if Bio Broly didn't exist, it would be my least favorite movie of DBZ. I think it's really boring, and the only memorable thing about it is the Genki Dama scene. The androids in this movie are really forgettable, especially the blue with red hair version of Android 13.
Yeah, again, I'm so split
on the... It goes downhill there.
I'm so split on the look of, like, the complete 13, like the Super Android 13, but it's the cool character, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know about the... Yeah, no, they are kind of unforgettable, the 14 and 15.
Yeah.
No, they're not forgettable, they're so unique. One's short, one's big. I don't know. I'm so confused, but I can see what they're talking about.
We're just in the heat of the moment. We just watched it, so we're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
John Rogers Magic Box 67 says, the late Shinsuke Kikuchi's music elevates any film it touches. Some of the greatest background music in all of Dragon Ball comes from this movie. The slow piece that builds as the Genki Dama forms is unforgettable, and Trunks' in the future you don't exist line is a great moment.
Yes, that moment was so great. I really love that. And then you cut to the end of the movie with the credits, and it's like the straight up rip off.
I sang along. It was good times. Looking at Kanzenshu's page for this movie, there's specifically like a table of all the musical pieces in the film, which is not usually a thing that they have cataloged here. So I assume that, this movie has to be origination of a lot of music that later shows up in other stuff. So
maybe, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
So yeah, that's all of that. Doug, are you ready for some quick trivia here?
Even quicker, because I already answered one correctly, didn't I?
Well, we'll see. So, the trivia is...
I'm going to forget.
Which one is 14 and which one is 15?
14 is the small one. 15 is the big one. Got it. Nailed it.
You would be right. You would also be wrong.
What?
So, officially, 14 is the larger one. 15 is the smaller one. But I want to tell you something.
What do you mean officially? Go on.
So, I'm going to tell you right here. Taking it straight from Kanzenshu. While not contributing to the movie's story development, original author Akira Toriyama provided original character designs for the 3 artificial humans, which were later printed in the Gallery of Akira Toriyama section of Daizenshu 6. The section notes that at the time of Toriyama's designs, the names of 14 and 15 were reversed. However, the 2 names were later swapped by the animation staff for unspecified story development reasons.
Oh, interesting. Why?
Yeah.
But no, that's a good nugget of trivia, though. I like that.
Right, yeah, it's a good one.
I wouldn't have known otherwise. I literally was just 100%. No, the short one is 14. I don't know why. I think I associated, the tiny one is tiny, but he was made first. That makes him special.
But you also have that reversed, because 14 is the large one, 15 is the small one.
No.
Yeah.
You just explained it. In the OG, the 14 is the tiny one.
Yeah, that's what Toriyama wrote, and then the animation staff changed it to 14 is the big one, and 15 is the small one.
My guess was the Toriyama one.
Your guess is the Toriyama one, yes, which is why I was like, you were right, but you'd also be wrong.
Gotcha. So I'm like wrong on official status, though.
Correct. Yeah, but in Toriyama's book, you got it.
Nice. Thank you, Toriyama.
He's got your back. All right, cool. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for reaching out and giving us your thoughts on this. Next up is the first Broly movie.
Never heard of him.
We'll have a lot to say on that one. It's also the longest out of those original movies, so
right.
It'll be a trip.
It will be.
You can tweet at us at WeGotAPod. You can email us at WeGotAPod@gmail.com. Doug, new chapter of Super is going to be out 6 days from now.
I've heard of Super. Nice.
Yeah. You should really...
That's awesome. Goodbye, everyone.
Well, first we have to thank Rifty for letting us use his track, Kakarot Theme Lo-Fi Hip Hop Trap Remix.
Thank you.
Thank you to sponsors. Doug, you got anything you want to plug?
Jabaz Doug on everywhere you can think of. About you.
At everywhere. That's great. I'm at Saber_Breaker. I'm doing some art right now.
Still haven't changed that, huh?
No, I mean, I'll figure something out. Remember, please subscribe to the show, tell your friends, post a review. It super helps us out. And stay tuned, because we'll be back with you in a couple of weeks to talk about Broly. Can't wait.
Awesome.
Check you later. Bye.
See ya.